So in JavaScript, we can use the date object when we want to work with dates and times. To use the date object, we use the date object constructor. By default, this will return the current date and time. The example on the screen could be stored in a variable, but the variable will always store the date and time of when that variable was created. So there's a few caveats to consider when you're working with dates in JavaScript. The date and time are calculated based on the computer's clock. This means if another user is in a different country, and therefore time zone, then this may cause some conflicts as to when that current day starts. When you work with the date object, you can format the date or time. We'll look now at some examples of this. We'll start by creating a variable called current date, and we'll assign to this the date object. Now, if we wanted to access just the date from the return value, we can use an additional method called getDate. We could also access just the time by using the method getTime. The time could also be further formatted by using a method that returns a human-readable string of the time. This method is called toTimesString. There's also a method that will return a human-readable string of the date. This method is called toDateString. I mentioned earlier about time zone caveats when you're working with the date object. A useful method that will return the offset minutes based on the locale is called getTimeZoneOffset. When you're working with dates and times, you may find you wish to create a date and time of your own. You can do this by passing in values to the date object when you create it. So if we had a user who was born on the 8th of September 2001, we could do this by passing in the year, the day, and then the month as parameters to the date object. Let's give this a go. So I'll start by declaring a variable called Bobby. I'll assign to this the date object. I then pass in 2001, 8, and 9. Now I'll console log Bobby. I get the date returned with the values we passed in as the parameters. When you create custom dates, the order for the values you pass into the date object is as follows. As a side note, the month starts counting from 0, so January is 0, February is 1, and so on. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe for more content.